Okay, so it's 12 o'clock, everyone. So thank you for joining us today for the next instalment of the YourLand Lunchtime Bites webinar series. So today we are going to be discussing what a conveyancer is. So we'll have a couple of questions at the end. If you can please mute yourself as well, guys, just for the time being. And then, yeah, as I mentioned, please submit your questions via the live chat if we've got time at the end. So today, everyone, we've got Cyndal here from Genuine Conveyancing. So we're really lucky to have you today. So thank you very much. So Cyndal is the owner and operator of Genuine Conveyancing based in the Southeast. So we're very lucky to have her over in the Southeast. So yeah, we might get started. So obviously, what is a conveyancer?
Thanks for having me. So a conveyancer is a qualified professional who conducts the legalities of transferring property between parties.
Yep.
So we'll deal with all the necessary paperwork and things required by legislation to transfer ownership.
Yeah, lovely. Okay. And then, so what do you do? So what does a conveyancer do?
Where do I start?
Where do you start?
All right. Well, as I said, so we'll prepare all the documents required by legislation. We'll advise clients of the legal aspects of buying or selling, whichever way they're going, advise them of contractual obligations and assist them with complying with those obligations.
Okay. Yeah.
We will liaise with the banker or broker and make sure that their finance is tracking well, and especially like with off-the-plan purchases, you know, we'll keep them updated on when registration is likely to occur so that the brokers can apply for finance at the right time, given that they usually approvals will last, you know, for a certain period. We'll communicate between the other parties, so with the vendor about any about settlement or any negotiations, any concerns. We will prepare adjustments and things to make sure, you know, each party's paying their share of council water rates and settlement.
So come settlement time,
make sure that make sure that when somebody buys a property, they're not buying a property with a lot of bills and debts attached to the property. So we make sure that that's all clear and they've got a nice clean slate. And yeah, that's and basically be there for any guidance that clients have along the way.
So if someone's purchasing a new block of land, I know from my clients, Cyndal, they normally get a copy of the contract sent to them prior to when they come in and sign. So essentially, what they do with that contract link is they send it to their conveyancer or solicitor to have review it before they come in and sign, just so they know what they're signing and they're comfortable with what they're signing. So by the time they come in and meet with me, they're good, and then they're comfortable, and they know all the legalities and
just things to be aware of, you know, when they are buying. So you know, about land tax, those sorts of things, just to make sure that they allow for those things when they're signing the contracts, that they know to prepare for that at the end when settlement comes.
Yeah, great. Yeah. So do you find if someone's buying off a plan, if they're purchasing land, they bring you the contract from the agents before before they sign?
We always advise it, just as I said, and you know, the contracts can be very lengthy and very overwhelming. And clients majority of the time won't know what sort of things to look out for. So we'll just point them in the right direction and say, here's a contract, we've reviewed the contract. We don't see any issues. However, these are some things to be aware of. Make sure you allow some extra fees for land tax at settlement. Make sure that when you're engaged in a builder, they've checked the design guidelines, building envelopes, make sure that they're going to build within the design guidelines, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that's really important too with conveyancers. They guide you throughout that process, especially so you're prepared come settlement time too. So just like a broker, when they prepare you for settlement with your finances, someone like Cyndal can make sure you're settled and in that way, and you've got all those extra maybe hidden sort of fees that you're unaware of, and make sure that you're prepared.
And I mean, it's such a big you know, a big step buying property. It's one of the biggest assets that you'll buy, and the process can be very daunting and overwhelming. Legislation is forever changing, so it's important that I guess you're guided as to legislation requirements. And I say to clients, I don't expect them to know what to do and when. That's where I come into it. That's my job.
That's Cyndal's job.
I'll advise clients what they need to be doing, when they need to be doing it. If there's forms they need to be doing, I'll usually prepare it and say, here you go, this is what it's all about. We need you know, this done at this time. And yeah, again, like I'd never expect clients to know what to do and when, because it is such a big daunting process, and legislation is forever changing, so the process is forever changing as well.
Yeah, and I think that's really important as well. There is extra documents that you need to fill out, and but Cyndal sends that to you. She can guide you through what they are, how to fill them out. So
I'll normally fill them out as much as I can, and then go through it with you and make sure you understand what you're signing. Oh, so good. So why do you think people should consider a conveyancer, using a conveyancer when they're buying off the plan? Yeah, as I touched on before, legislation is forever changing. It's really important to engage a professional who is aware of the current legislation and the legislative requirements of buying property. We're trained to know that we, you know, have CPD points, so we keep updated with all those changes and make sure that basically we're protecting our clients and helping the clients, you know, meet their contractual obligations. So with a licensed conveyancer, we also will have professional indemnity insurance. So that's just another way to cover the clients as well. If you get a good conveyancer, they will also have cyber fraud insurance. It's not mandatory for conveyancers to have that. It's something that I personally have, and I think given this day and age and the amount of activity that's conducted online, given that in Victoria now settlements, it's mandatory for settlements to happen via an electronic network called PEXA. It just does expose, I guess, clients to the risk of cyber fraud. So we just make sure we're taking out extra precautions to protect ourselves, our clients, the other parties from any of that. So that's why it's important to have a conveyancer, a licensed conveyancer. As I said, they're aware of the legislative requirements. We know the process. We're updated with all the changes. We have the relative insurance, and it's just, you know, it protects the client.
Yeah, so like you said, you essentially have to keep up to date with everything. So you're probably forever learning and getting knowledge yourself, really, with what's happening. So if you've got a good conveyancer like Cyndal, you shouldn't have any issues in that way. So what are the pros of using a conveyancer?
Again, I'll probably just revert back to the other question. Being up to date with the legislation requirements, the insurances. I guess we'll also advise clients as to that there might be some things that clients aren't aware that they're entitled to. So such as stamp duty exemptions or concessions. You know, just those things that if you're not doing this process daily, you might not be aware of some of those things that you might be entitled to. So that's probably the pros of having a conveyance. So we know what clients should be looking out for, what they're entitled to, assist them with stamp duty, concessions, exemptions, and all of that. Yeah,
good stuff. So I suppose this next question is probably a little bit general, because it depends on, I guess, who you've chosen as a conveyancer, because there's different fees involved. But what sort of fees can people expect when they use a conveyancer?
Generally, I'd say allow between $1,000 to $1,500. And again, as Catherine said, that will vary depending on not just the conveyancer, but what's involved in your transaction too. But generally, about $1,000 to $1,500 is usually the ballpark of an average cost for conveyancing.
Now, is that some people are probably wondering, is that all I need to pay? Is that a once-off fee? Sort of how?
That'll be a once-off. So that's from start to finish. So once clients engage a conveyancer, that fee will be up until the property's in their name, even after settlement if there's issues. We'll advise the council and water authorities have changed ownership. So that includes all of that.
Amazing. Oh, it just takes the guesswork a little bit out of things.
And even once it's over, we're always here for questions. I sometimes have clients come back to me in 6 months and say, "Oh, we're doing our tax, we need these documents." It's like, no worries, we'll just, we're still here, we'll shoot it off. Or
so you haven't just sort of, gone away.
No, always here.
That always help people, which is really great. Because even after you settle on a property, you will have probably other questions that you need answered. Who do you turn to? So again,
we're still always here.
Really good. So how I guess, again, this is probably a little bit general question, sort of individual needs and wants, but how does someone choose maybe the right conveyancer for them?
I'd say probably find someone that explains the process in a way that you understand. Make sure, you know, you can always ask them if they're licensed, what insurances they hold. As a licensed conveyancer, it is mandatory to have professional indemnity insurance, but I highly suggest you finding a conveyancer that also has a cyber fraud insurance as well, given that it's mandatory in Victoria now to conduct settlements online, and just the risk. But bottom line, find a conveyancer that explains the process in a way that you understand.
Yeah, yeah. So the buying process, the contract, everything like that. Yeah. So right at the beginning, and then everything, everything should flow pretty smoothly.
Yeah, that's it. So give them a call, give a conveyancer a call. You're welcome to give myself a call. We can have a chat. And if you think you know it's explained in a way that and you're comfortable, and I guess you've got to have that trust as well. It is such a big, as I said, process. You want a conveyancer that you can trust will have your best interest.
Definitely.
That will make sure that they do advise you correctly and don't, you know, let you get into a sticky situation that, you know, you maybe have not planned for. And they've done everything, you know, in the background. And so when settlement comes and you've settled on your land and you're ready to build, it should be a nice smooth transaction. That's what you want.
That's what you want.
That's what you want.
Amazing. So we'll see if we've got any questions, guys, to submit through the chat. We are running out of time, so if you do have any questions, additional questions that we don't get through, please let us know. And you can let me know, or if you want to ask Cyndal something, I can send you her details, and we'll go from there. So just
thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing. So I hope everyone that's been informative for you. So you now know what a conveyancer is and what they do, and why it is important to engage with one when you are buying off the plan. So they can help you throughout the process. So
and as Catherine said, if there's any questions that you have that may not have been answered today, feel free to contact myself or Catherine, and Catherine can forward them on, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Amazing. Well, thanks, guys. We really hope that you enjoyed today's session, and look out for future sessions with YourLand Developments. See ya. Bye.